to Enlightenment of Change on webtalkradio.net. I'm your host, Connie Whitman. As always, you know I love that you're here and being part of the show. Now, I hope as you listen each week that you feel my passion, that no matter where you are in your journey of change, whether you've chosen it, it's thrust upon you, doesn't matter. I hope between my guests and I that we help with ideas and strategies to help you navigate, again, whatever that change is, with a little bit more ease and grace, right? Because life is hard enough. So my guests and I are here for you. We have your back, and we do hope that after listening, you can implement some of the ideas that we are sharing. So, of course, I have a free gift for you right out of the gate, my free communication style assessment. This is a great tool, life tool, really, that will help you navigate whatever change you're going through. So you get 2 reports. You take the assessment, you'll find your natural superpowers, and you will get a report on that. Lean into that. That's how you naturally show up and how people perceive your messaging. The flip side, you have a low score. That low score is a blind spot, kind of important to understand, because if you're communicating with someone within your blind spot, you want to make sure that you're hyper aware of that so you can message them the way they can receive the information. So go in the show notes. I have the link for you. It's my free communication style assessment. It's my gift for you. Also, if you are enjoying the show, you know I love feedback. So if you can rate, review, and subscribe, I don't want you ever to miss an episode. And the ratings and the reviews, I really do appreciate them. And I love hearing from my peeps. Now, my motivational quote today that I want to start, kind of set the tone for the show today, is by Jim Rohn. And Jim says, "You must take personal responsibility. You cannot change the circumstances, the seasons, or the winds, but you can change yourself." Now, I love this quote, right? It's what the show is all about. And I don't know about you, but I personally am committed to learning something every day, learning something new actually every day. So part of my lifelong learning routine includes every morning, first thing, I read for about 20 minutes, and I want to make sure that I'm always challenging myself, both personally and professionally. So for me, personal development, it's really not a choice. It's a critical habit that I believe is needed to achieve for me overall business success, as well as my own personal happiness. Now, with the amount of information and resources available to us, I think it's just really freaking hard sometimes to determine where to spend our time and money for that personal growth, that business growth, whatever it might be. So in my mission with my 2 podcasts, I want to share recognized thought leaders and my trusted colleagues to help you navigate, again, whatever that change is you're going through. So who's my guest today? She's amazing. Her name is Tene. Kosmyna. I hope I said that right. Tene is the owner of Success Ocean International and is a recognized and respected thought leader, corporate trainer, and published author of the book Triple Double Diamond Customer Service, and within the professional and personal development industries. Now, she's been featured on countless podcasts and summits, and the local eye on Oklahoma Community TV. Her overarching vision is to help people do and have whatever it is they want in every area of their life. Now, to facilitate this training that infuses corporate and personal development so that we bring more of the employee to the surface, I think this is super needed today. And this will allow for better success for the employees, both personally, professionally, and of course, the company benefits on the back end. So Tene, thank you so much for coming on, and super important conversation we're going to have, because I think corporate America, but I think we have to hold some responsibility as individuals for our growth, both personally and professionally.
Yes. Well, first, thank you for inviting me.
My pleasure. I love hanging out with you.
I know, I do too. I do too. Well, yes, everything you just read is exactly what I'm all about. I was that person that needed that help. And now that I've gotten it and I'm continuing to get it, and because it is a life's journey, it's not a one and done.
Yeah.
I want to tell everybody in the world, and I want them to be able to do it too. I seriously live by that whole motto: what I want for myself, I truly, seriously want for everybody else.
Absolutely. We want to share it, right? We
I
want to share the
do.
knowledge. And that's,
I do.
see, Tene, it's funny. And I put that in my intro. I love hosting the two podcasts because I get to meet amazing people from around the world like you,
Yeah.
right? You don't live in Jersey. We
No,
met through a networking thing or somebody introduced us. We chatted and I'm like, oh my goodness, this could be a great topic for the show
exactly.
and a great
Exactly.
resource for my peeps. So yeah, I
Exactly.
agree. We want everybody to succeed and live in their joy, whatever that is for them. What do you
Exactly.
think, doing what you do, what do you think holds people back from earning or doing and just creating their best life ever?
Habits, their
Mm,
mindset, their everything is a habit. We call it paradigms, you can call it habits. It is what fuels us and moves us into every single thing that we do and why we do it. When we wake up in the morning, what do we do? Sometimes your habit is to wake up in the morning, you roll over and grab the phone now. Your habit is to get up and maybe go to the restroom. Your habit is maybe drinking water, water with lemon, whatever that is. It's a habit, and it's going to be that way until you decide to change it. And changing it is not so easy as just saying, I'm just going to change the habit.
if it was only that easy tonight.
If it was only that easy, you actually have to in order to change a paradigm or a habit, which a paradigm is a multitude of habits that have almost exclusive control over everything we do, why we do it, what we're doing, who we are doing it with. Like right now, you have on those beautiful little earrings.
Thank you.
Beautiful little earrings. You probably put those on a lot, and it's a habit because you feel good. You know you look good in them. It's a habit. You put them on. Um, in order to change a habit, it's either time space repetition or some kind of emotional impact. COVID was an emotional impact for the universe here
Yes.
that they actually had to change. People don't think of it that way sometimes because they're like, well, why did this happen? Well, things happen because sometimes you can jump and then sometimes you have to be pushed. And COVID was one of those things that pushed the world, the universe into saying, you know what, maybe it's time to do some things differently.
Yeah.
And so it boils down to people have a habit, they get stuck, they don't know how to get out of what they have been doing. They want to do it, so their conscious mind tells them, "Yes, absolutely, I want to do this." But the subconscious mind that habit is sitting in is saying to themselves, is saying, what are you crazy? I don't want to change. Everything's been good all this time. I'm cool the way that everything is. Why would you want to change it? Nah, that's not something you want to do. And it keeps going back and forth until finally you
Yeah.
keep thinking about it repetitively. You keep holding it, holding the space for it, the energy for it. And then all of a sudden, guess what? You're finding yourself in this new space. And it may feel funny because you're thinking, wait a minute, this is not the normal me that I am always feeling. Why is this happening? It's because you're changing. And that's what it's all about.
Absolutely. And it's funny, as you were talking, I was thinking to myself, I trained yesterday. It happened to just train yesterday with one of my clients. And I teach the CSA, right? So they
Uh
take the
huh.
CSA and then we go my communication style assessment that I talked about. And I
Right.
broke it down and I write up individual reports for them to bite into.
Okay.
And exactly what you just said, I said, think of yourself as an iceberg.
Uh
The
huh.
top 10% when you're with your clients, it's very conscious, right?
Yes.
You and I were speaking English. I'm
Yes.
looking into the camera so that we're in essence making eye contact, right? All of
Exactly.
those, that's all the body language. And then I said, but humans, 90% of our activities, of our habits, of how we think, the energy we exchange, the energy we put out there, subconscious. So if you're
Exactly.
unaware that this is even going on, and the CSA is really subconscious, it's how we're wired, it's those habits of how we've communicated for our lifetime. So if we don't
Mm-hmm.
ever think about it, we can't step in to choose to change it, right? So
Exactly.
my CSA just happens to be a tool. What you teach your clients, it's a way for them to say, hey, my subconscious keeps telling me, no, 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 we're happy.
Exactly.
When my mind is saying, no, 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 I'm not happy, right? But you
Exactly.
have to make the choice to be able to think about it. Otherwise, change just can't happen, right?
It can't happen. You'll get to a point where you think you've changed, and guess what? You go right back because
Backslide.
you did not make the change that you thought you were making.
That's right.
It always happens. So, so many things go into it because we also have the mental faculties that we have. So the subconscious is great in every way, shape, or form. One of the items that's in the mind. So usually, let me start over. The brain is not the mind. So the brain is almost like a switching station. It's just like a way of like cataloging things,
Yep.
experiences and images and things of that nature. The subconscious mind is the mind that starts after. It's the feeling. It's the feeling. The universe
That's
is a
right.
feeling universe. I teach this all the time. Whatever you are feeling in your body is what you're going to get.
That's right.
Whatever you're feeling in that body, you're going to get. And you say, but wait a minute, no, that's not true. Start to pay attention a little bit, just little by little, the little things. What you're feeling, you're going to get. And it's going to seem like magic. It's going to say, wait a minute, I didn't mean for that to happen. Well, check your feeling. So,
And it's true. And the feeling goes down to the whole law of attraction, right? If you
oh my
feel it,
God,
because
yeah,
the feeling is
it
the
is.
vibration that goes into the universe is the vibration that it connects with out there and then brings more of whatever that feeling is. So we think, oh,
Exactly.
I'm broke. Oh, I hate my job. Oh, I'm
Mm-hmm,
in a bad marriage. Oh, my
mm-hmm,
kids are driving me crazy. And
mm-hmm.
that's the feeling, the vibration. And then guess what comes back? Your kids are going to still drive you crazy. Your marriage isn't
Exactly.
going to get any better because you haven't chosen
Exactly.
to do anything. You're still in the same dead end job because you don't
Exactly.
know what step to take. So you start receiving exactly what you're transmitting, you get back, right?
Exactly.
It's
We are
fascinating.
transmitting. I know it is. We are transmitters. So we're just going, we're like a GPS. We're going do, 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 do. And we are
That's right.
targeting and tuning into whatever other vibration that's already out there. And we're saying we're resonating with it. And how we resonate that vibration are also our thoughts, our feelings, our habits, our emotions, all of those things. And
That's
it's
right.
saying, and it's agreeing with that vibration that that transmitter is tuning into, saying, yeah, this feels good. Yeah, this is what I want, even though that's not really what you want, because you're saying, no, 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 I don't want that. I want something different. But it's saying, but this is what you're telling me that you're feeling. You want to connect with that. You're resonating with that. So, yeah, it's
It's
something.
definitely starts in the mind, right?
It
And here's
does.
the other thing too, and just listen, I've been on my journey for probably 20 years, right? I've been in business 21, and that was a big pivotal point in my life. My kids were little, all life, it was a big life event, right? My kids were
Right.
little, I started a business, all of those things. And then I started learning about the law of attraction and
Uh-huh.
universal laws and all of that. And,
Mhm.
I was a finance major, MBA in finance, business owner, this
Mhm.
woo-woo stuff. I was like, but I was so like, wow,
Yeah,
I'm vibrational. I never
yeah,
thought about that. Wow, I did create that. I didn't want to create that, but I see how I created that. And as soon as
exactly.
you shift your thinking or your
Mhm.
perspective so that you see whatever, like, oh, I did create that. Oh my goodness, that's not what I
Exactly.
wanted to create. We can now we're in a position of power and control where we can
Exactly.
choose to change our
Exactly.
vibration. We can choose to do something differently. When you when you coach your clients, how do you explain or can you give me an example? Maybe this is a better way. Give me an
Oh,
example of a client that you taught them about that law of attraction and how it was relating to them both, maybe personally and or professionally or both. Can you give it? Because I think people, when you give them a tangible example,
mm-hmm.
they go, oh, I understand that. I do that too. And then, okay, now this is what you need to do to kind of implement a change to whatever that thought pattern is. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely. I
Okay.
had a client that every time they were at work, at home, they would feel strong. They would feel like they could do anything. They were having those conversations with themselves that they thought that they could have in the workplace. Then when they would get into the workplace, a different, more in your face vibrational being was in their face, and it started to make them feel small. So their
Wow.
self-image started to, at work, the self-image would be one thing, but at home, when you're around your safe space, around your family and friends, you're feeling like, yeah, I could do this. Yes, I am going to do this. And you're going to say what you're going to say. And you get into work, and those louder talking people, those powerful, more in your mind, more
In
you
your
think
mind.
that they're in their mind, that you're thinking they're more powerful than you, they're smarter than you, they're prettier than you. All these things go into the self-image that makes up the habits that you are and the beliefs that you are. And it doesn't give you what you want. And you wonder why you didn't get that promotion. You wonder why the other person got it and they don't even know as half as much as you do, but they still got it. And you're thinking to yourself, okay, that's going on. And then you have I have a client, the same client that has their dating life. Why can't they seem to find anybody in their lives? They keep going out on dates. They don't know why that nothing is working. But then they go to work or they see a family member and they're saying, oh, yes, I'm dating this person now. And they seem to be so very happy, so very everything. And again, you're thinking to yourself, wow, I can't seem to get from A to B. Why is this happening
Yeah.
to me? And then I have a client that realized that number one, goal setting and goal achieving is not necessarily just the SMART goals that we all hear about.
Absolutely.
It's really making a decision and having clarity on really what it is that you want. And people
Yes.
say, I know what I want. Actually, you know what you think you want.
Yes.
If you're really honest with yourself, and sometimes the honesty of what it is that we really want, it's coming out so in a scared manner. You're afraid to speak it out loud because it's like, what would people think if I said this out loud? So I had to
Absolutely.
work with a client, all of my clients really. They start by setting a goal, having clarity, and we work with them for as long as they need to, whether it's 1 week to 2 months, to really clarify what it is they want. Because we find that when we say create a goal of what it is you want, by the time they get to maybe lesson number 5, they realize they should have set with number 1 a lot longer because they really did not realize what they wanted.
Yeah.
And then it goes into the new knowing doing gap. You know what you want, but why aren't you doing it? And again, those are those habits.
Yeah.
And we teach about how to break through there. And then there's the fear of doing, like I just said, the fear of doing things. So all these things go into one big, big bundle of this is how you fix your life. This is how you fix your life. It's always been wrapped up in books. We didn't know about it. But now that we know about it, I tell every single person because I love the non-spoken continence that is on a person when they really get it. When
Yes.
they realize, oh my God, and they say it all of the time, this is what I've been looking for. It's that little thing. It's not the big things, it's the little things of how to navigate life. And that's what I teach people. And people have been able to do whatever they want.
And create the life they want. And we
Yes.
really have more power than we think. And I just share a real personal story, but it speaks directly to this. When I was in my 20s, I was dating a lot and working really hard, my sales, getting my career going and putting money away and all of that. And I remember I was 28, almost 29 years old, and I came home and the dating was just horrific. And so I always say I kissed a lot of toads, right? So came home. Can you imagine saying this to an Italian mom, right? I come home and I go, Mom, I was still living home at the time because I was never home. And I said, I made a decision. She goes, oh, okay, what's your decision? I said, I have enough money. I'm going to buy a house.
Okay.
And I said, and I want a kid, but I don't want a husband. I said, men it's just too much work for me. I don't have the patience. And she almost had a heart attack. You want a what? A baby without a father? Like what? What?
I know,
And I
right?
said, you know what? I feel like there's a baby out there that needs me, and I think I'm going to adopt and whatever. So I had all of this plan in my head.
Mhm.
You're crazy. What are you thinking? Typical mom response.
Yes,
And
yes,
then, and now this was intuitive because I didn't realize this at the time, but I want everybody to really hear the story because that intuitiveness is exactly what we're talking about today.
yes,
So one
yes,
day I sat down today and I said, you know what? These men are driving me crazy. They're just not what I want. They're too much work, all these things. But what if the right man walked into my life? What would they look like? And I
hmm,
literally wrote a list. Don't know why I
yes,
did this to this day. Again, I think it was intuitive. and I put all the things I knew I wanted in a man or a partner. And then
Yes.
I put all of the things that I didn't want in a partner that were non-negotiables for me,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And that was it. And I don't even remember where I had put this list. I forgot about it. And within, I want to say probably about 3 months, I had met my husband, and through work and just colleagues and that kind of thing. Well, on our second date, I said to him, "You're going to marry me." And he was like, "What?" Because he's 5 years younger than me too. So he was in his
Oh, I
early
love
20s. I'm in my late 20s. And I said, "I don't know what it is, but you and I together, we can take on the world. Like
oh,
I need you, but you need me. I need your
yes.
energy and your calmness." I said, "But you need my get up and go."
Yeah.
Within less than 2 years of knowing each other, we were married. So
See,
here, and this
that's
was the woman who was going to adopt and buy a house alone and
uh-huh.
all of this stuff. And here's the thing: when we finally did get married and we moved, I found that list, and
Uh-huh.
this is the coolest part of it tonight. Everything that was on that list for me that I needed, he had, plus more things I didn't even know I needed, but that
I
he
believe
had
it.
that just made me feel at peace within myself. He complimented me. He didn't complete
Exactly.
me. He complimented me. And then
Exactly.
on the non-negotiable, he had none of the non-negotiables of the things I didn't want. He had none of
Exactly.
them. So I thought,
Exactly.
holy crap. When I learned, it was probably about 10 years later when I was 40, I was like, that's the list. That's what I
That's the
manifested.
list.
I
Mm-hmm.
manifested my husband, not
Mm-hmm.
realizing what I was doing. My intention was clear. My heart was pure.
That's
I
right.
knew what I wanted. He came into my life. I saw it with clarity. I felt him with clarity. And the rest is it. We're almost married 31 years now.
I
So, but
love that. You
yes,
know,
but
it's so much
that's
like mine.
true. Hmm.
Yes, your story is similar to my story. Um, I would add that I actually gave that person that I was writing about a name. His name was Stephen, and I married Stephen. The same things that you said, that was how I got my house as well. I wrote down every single thing that I wanted. It's it's being clear and concise about
Yeah.
what it is that you want.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can't do it on your own. Sometimes you do need somebody to help
I
you,
agree. Yeah.
because just as soon as you think you got it, somehow it disappears from you, and you have to bring it to remembrance. And
That's
that's what
right.
I tell everybody. And my Stephen, I gotta say that I know he's my Stephen. My Stephen, he is amazing. He has everything that I wanted on my list. And like you said, the non-negotiables, he doesn't even it's not even a part of who he
It's
is.
But
And
that's the intention, right? That's the
mhm,
clarity that you
it
were
is.
talking about before. So now you kind of alluded, if we can maybe dig in a little bit. You said you went through. And I'm going to say I heard 3 steps. Do
Okay.
you have a formula? I'm doing air quotes for those that are listening on Apple, right? But do you have a formula to
Yes.
get from that, like you said, that desire of that's not what I wanted. I wanted this. But
Mhm.
how did I transmit that to get the wrong thing, or how do I transmit it to get the right thing? Is there a formula that you use?
It is. And the formula really is doing things in a certain way. So how I coach people is you have to start at step one. It's basically 12 steps. You start at step one, you're clarifying your goal, you're realizing what you're doing and not doing, what you know and what you're not applying to what it is you know.
Yeah,
You're starting to realize what is going on the inside with all the mental faculties of memory, reason, perception, imagination, um, all of those things. Then you're moving on into what is terrifying you from getting from where you are to where you want to be, and how to truly break through that. Then you're being a person of increase, learning how to be completely genuine with someone.
yes,
There's so many people out there, they don't know how to, like you and I are perfect examples of uplifting and supporting not only everybody else, but women. Sometimes women don't know how to support each other. They don't know how to
agree.
compliment each other because of the invisible competition.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
thank God for my mom and my grandmother, because they taught me how to not be and do that.
That's
So
right.
I am, people are amazed, and they're kind of like, are you for real? Yeah, I truly, really am. What I want for me, I want for you.
That's right.
So you learn how to really be a true person of increase, to really learn how to truly compliment so that you're getting the flow of energy going from you to that person. It's already there, but you're flowing with the intention in the way that you need it and want it to go to that person to fulfill their lives. And then you're also learning what attitude is all about, how your attitude can change every single thing. So it's doing things in a certain way. And those doing things in a certain way, when you're coached by us, you have to make the decision to sit down and really take hold of your life and what it is that you want, because it's not us talking to you saying, this is what you should do, and you're learning the way that you've always learned. This is about you're gonna hear it, you're gonna read it, you're gonna look at video, and then you're going to start writing. Writing causes internalization.
Yeah.
It causes that change. It's focused energy on what it is that you are desiring to change. It cannot help but to manifest once you really make that decision. No one can do it for you. You
Yeah.
can't short step it or sidestep it. You can't cheat yourself, because when you're cheating, saying, oh, well, I did part of it, that's how you've always probably been doing things.
That's right.
I've heard that phrase, how you do one thing is how you do everything. And
That's
people
true.
say, no, that's not true. Well, when you dig down deep, it really is, because it's a
Absolutely.
habit, it's a belief, it's a paradigm, it's how you roll. And once you decide, you know what, I want something different in my life, and you deliberately make changes, then it's going to happen. It can't help but happen.
Yeah, I like that word deliberate. It has to be deliberate, right?
It does.
And it has to be thoughtful and it has to be clear. Because if we don't have the clarity, how can you possibly execute if you don't
You
even have the
can't.
clarity of what you actually want? How do you help people? I think the biggest thing, right? We're in this huge inflationary time right now,
Mhm.
right? In
Mhm.
2022. For future listeners,
Yes.
in the fall of 2022, we had inflation, right? But
Yes.
what do you do to help people attract more money? And also, a part of that caveat, I think, is not only just the money, but the time freedom, right? That I
Mhm.
can do what I want and live the life I choose. Of course, we still have to work and all of those things, but how can I create more time and money in my life? Like, what are some of the little tricks that you share or tips?
Just what I was talking about, you have to make a decision. What is it that you want? And part of making that decision of knowing what it is you want is having the clarity. It goes hand in hand. If you say, okay, you know what? I want I want the money time freedom, and just say, how am I going to get it? Take the how out of it. Once you say, how am I going to do this? You're already putting that energy in place of lack, of doubt, of what it is that you're always giving to yourself.
That's right.
When a little child says, I want a bike, I want ice cream, I want a drone, I want a whatever it is, they're not saying I want with conditions. They're just saying, I want. So you have to have the complete clarity of what it is you want and why you want it. Then make that decision and then stick with the decision. It's persistence. It's using the power or the mental faculty of the will to completely keep concentrating on what it is that you want, no matter what is going on. Inflation's going on, so what? That's for everybody else to worry about.
Yeah.
You worry about you. And don't worry, that's the wrong word, but you think about you. I
That's right.
always call it mind your business. You're minding your own business,
I
not
like it.
someone else's business.
I
I'm
like it.
minding my business, and my business is to learn how to use all of those intangible things, those gifts that each one of us were born with, the proper way, so that I can really truly get whatever I want. Everyone wants the secret magic trick. Well, the magic trick is learning how to work you. That's the trick. And
Amen.
you don't know how to do it, then guess what? That's what people like you and I are for. Come to us. We will show you. I love my grandmother used to say this all of the time, because this is where it started. It started from the family. And talk about inheritance. I
Mm.
inherited this understanding and then began to study it more and more so that I could then go out and study it. But she was absolutely right. Everyone wants to always pass on a recipe of some sort, pass on, objects of some sort, pass on this knowledge that you really can have, do, and be whatever it is that you want to, but you have to do it in a certain way. If you're going to cook just say, you're in the South, you're going to cook a cake. You can't cook a cake and then the frosting and all that unless it's in a certain temperature. If not, the cake it's gonna fall. It's not gonna give you exactly what it is that you're wanting. You're gonna have to have those scientific conditions set up.
Right.
There is a law that is in place, a universal law that will never go away. It's always been here and will always be here. You have to know what that certain way is in that law in, in order to get what it is that you want. And it's just not one law. It's the law of absolute truth is the main law.
That's right.
But then you have to learn how to use all of the other laws that connect to that absolute law of truth in order to get you to really do what it is that you really want to do and have and be.
And it's funny because these laws have been around since the start of the world, right? Of
Yes,
the universe.
universe.
And after you and I are long gone, right? And this
Uh-huh.
show is, I don't even, maybe not even existing anymore, right? Down 100 years from now, there'll be
Yes,
something new. It won't be a podcast. It'll be something else new, right?
yes,
It'll be the
yes.
Jetsons.
Oh
But
my gosh.
yeah, right?
Yes,
All of these things are going to be here long after you and I are here, but they're
yes.
real. And you know what I think? We're almost out of time, but The Secret came out, I don't know what, it's got to be 15 years ago, maybe 20
Something
years
like
ago.
that.
Yeah, it's been a while. And that show, it was the tip of the iceberg from an
Yes,
informational piece. And
yes.
everybody thought I just have to create a vision board and then the magic's going to happen. There has to be intention behind
It
that.
does.
Yes, you have to have the clarity, like a vision board helps you with the clarity. I
It
get that.
does. It
But then
does.
you have to show the universe that you're really interested in creating that. So another tangible example would be like, I want to start a business. I want to start a business. I want to start a business. But you don't pick a name. You don't buy a URL. You don't
Exactly.
start to investigate do I go to
Exactly.
GoDaddy? How do I buy the URL? You do nothing except say, I want to start a business. I want to
And you're
start a
hoping
business.
that's just going to fall in your lap. It's
Right. The
not going to
door's not
happen.
going to knock and say, I know you've been wanting a business. Here's the business you should start. Doesn't work
Exactly.
that way. So
No.
having the vision is one thing, but then you
Mm-hmm.
have to do action. You have to have the
You
feeling, you have to have
do.
the vibration behind
You
to make
do.
whatever that vision was initially. But
Exactly.
so Secret, I think it opened the door in so
It
many
did.
ways. But I also think it confused people. And then they started saying, oh, this universal stuff doesn't work. It doesn't work for me. It works for everybody else. So again, we self-promote exactly,
Exactly.
it doesn't work for me. So the universe says, okay, I'm not going to make it work for you. You
Exactly.
miss that piece of the puzzle. So what
You
you're
do.
doing with your formula and with your program is to take them through to say it works for everybody because
It
everybody
does.
can tap into this, but you have to tap into it from inside. Mind your business, right? What is your
Exactly.
business at hand? And that's
Exactly.
what you have to bring to the
Exactly.
surface.
I'm glad you
Tonight, go ahead.
Mhm. I was gonna say, I'm glad you brought up The Secret because Bob Proctor, who was the late Bob
I
Proctor, who
know
was my
he passed.
mentor, he was in The Secret. And
Yes,
so he realized that The Secret did not go far enough.
yes.
And so he created a program with his business partner, which now I facilitate, as well as my business partner. We facilitate this to go beyond The Secret to really put it into tangible.
Yep.
And I have to say also, just one last thing is that when things start to come to you, after you make the vision board or whatever it is that you're doing, don't expect it to show up the way that you desire for it to show up. You have to be open and aware and observant and receptive to, oh, that's what that was. You asked for it. Everything we ask for, we feel we're going to get. You just have to know what it is. You have to be aware of that opportunity when it is finally in your face instead of, but I thought it would come to me like X, Y, and Z. That's not how the universe works. So I just wanted to add that in.
Yeah, and it goes back to us meeting our husbands, right?
Yes.
I could have, when I first met him, thought, it's another stupid guy, forget about it. I'm not
Yes.
interested. And that would have been it. I wouldn't have been open, right? And I
Mm-hmm.
guess he just touched something in me and I kept thinking, oh, he's funny. Oh, I really like what he said about that. And all
Uh-huh.
of a sudden, I didn't go in with a preconceived idea of who this person was going to be. He just
Exactly.
showed up, but I allowed him in. So you do have to energetically allow the exchange of energy, right?
Yes.
We're energy beings. So if
Exactly.
you say, I want a boyfriend, but then you never leave the house, you're never
It's
going to get
not
a
gonna
boyfriend.
happen.
Like, you know what I mean? So again,
Exactly.
the action to the intention connection, I think, has to go hand in hand. Plus, the emotional openness has to be there as well to allow without
Exactly.
any type of attachment to, oh, no,
Exactly.
he's got to be 6'9", the man I want to marry. My husband is an inch shorter than me. So I
Uh,
didn't have any attachment to what the
exactly.
expectation was, other than I really wanted a partner for life, right? That was my
Exactly.
desire, I think, at the core. And he's a true partner.
And what
God,
you just said with those affirmations, I know we got to go by saying another guy, another stupid guy. Those are affirmations.
that's right.
Those are the things that we're saying all the time. And you have to watch what you say. So start paying attention to whatever it is that you say all of the time, by yourself and with friends, family. And then you'll realize, oh my God, I'm creating. Abracadabra, that word we all hear is I create as I speak. Be careful what you speak.
Yes. Oh, I love that. Abracadabra. That's what that means.
Yes.
I love that. That is so cool. I didn't know that. I just thought
Yes.
some, magician said abracadabra and it stuck, right?
I
But
create as I speak.
create as I speak. I love that. That's beautiful. So that's how we're going to end the show.
Okay.
But of course, I think you need more Tene in your life
Oh,
too.
thank
So
you
go
very
to
much.
her website, which is successocean.com. I'm going to put the link in the show notes, but on her homepage, she also has a free gift. It's an introspective questions that are going to help you uncover and reveal what you really want. So it's a great place to start. It'll get you familiar with Tene. So go to successocean.com. Also, if you have a question specific for Tene, her email is Tene, Tene at successocean.com. Reach out to her. She's amazing. I love her. And I know you'll love her as well. Tene, as always, thank you so much for your time. Thank you
Thank
for your
you.
messaging and
Thank
just
you.
for just being so lovely. I so appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. I like tracks a lot. I'll get a like. So thank you.
Yeah, I agree, 100%. Thank you again.
You're
And I hope
welcome.
you guys will join me weekly as we build and discover together that no matter where you on your journey of change, again, if you choose it or if it's thrust upon you, my guests and I truly hope share some knowledge, insight, or a tip or strategy. But here's the deal. We shared some great information. Today and I shared some stories today. If you do nothing with the knowledge that you learned, it's just knowledge and information. It just kind of is. But if you take it and you put into action, that's when that magic happens, that abracadabra, right, in our life. So do something different, try something different, play and experiment with the ideas that Tene and I shared today, and report back. I love to hear what changes you've created in your life. Thank you for tuning in to Enlightenment of Change with me, your host, Connie Whitman, on webtalkradio.net. As always, I am truly honored to have you on this journey of change with me. I wish you an inspired week. Again, take a tip or two that Tene shared, implement it, report back. Let me know how your life is going. Again, I'm honored that you're on this journey of change with me. I love you all, and I'll see you next week. Have a great one.